Having an issue with the weather, yeah. Just bear with me one moment, guys. I'll sort a couple of things out. So. I'll start answering questions in just a minute. When this rain doesn't get any worse. We've had a lot of rain in Auckland the last few days. I'm getting wet. Hello everybody, welcome to the live stream. It's more like a live downpour at the moment. Hopefully the quality of this improves as the weather improves. The Wi-Fi is getting a bit messed up, I think, with the weather. We've just had a cyclone go through Auckland, well, through New Zealand in the last couple of days. Skipped here, thankfully, mostly. There's about a 30-second delay between what I'm saying and when you guys hear it, so things might be out of whack with the questions on the side. So I assume you all know how to use the questions. Ask me a question on the side, type the question. There's also a little circle there with a smiley face as emojis. And then next to that you've got the square with the $ in it. That's for Super Chat. You can donate money to me that way. And if you ask a question during that, it'll show up on a different screen for me so I can't miss it. I'll try and answer as many questions as possible. If you do a super chat, I'll definitely answer your question unless it's inappropriate. And hopefully you can see a fairly decent picture. It's not as good as it should be. It's streaming from this end in 720p high def, but you can see it's not coming out like that on YouTube. Okay, so I'll start looking at some of your questions. I'll try and delete any spam as I see it. My laptop is getting wet. I'm just going to have to dry it off for a second. Hang on. I also have a bit of a cold, so excuse me if I cough or sneeze or need to blow my nose. I don't know if adverts or anything pop up. If they do, I'm sorry. I don't know how it works with the live streaming. I'm not getting as much of a signal out here as I was on my last test, unfortunately. Happy Easter indeed. Okay, I'm going to answer some questions. What have we got? Hey Woody, shush. Okay, scrolling back up, question wise, what have we got? Yes, Woody does enjoy the rain. Doesn't enjoy me being in here with a laptop and a camera though, unfortunately. Hey Woody. It's Carrie down there, she's lost her tail, she's molting. She looks so much smaller without a tail. Swinny's molted and has got her tail back now. Michelle says, do you breed your cockatiels? No, we do not. They're all males. So we have 5 male cockatiels. Leela and Fry were our first 2 cockatiels. Leela was meant to be a girl, turned out to be a boy. And we have Joey and Charlie, both boys of course, who were sort of rescue birds. And we have Poopy, who was also meant to be a girl and turned out to be a boy also. Joey and Charlie we bought as tame birds, and Poopy, and they helped tame Fry and Leela. Leela's the least tame though. Leela doesn't really, I don't know if you can see on screen at the moment, Leela up there doesn't really hang out with the other teals. He likes to hang around with the turquoisines. So he very rarely hangs around with the other cocktails. But the other four stick together and they're all sitting up behind me at the moment. How's the little parakeet doing? So Makita, the turquoisine, she's doing really well. She's inside at the moment. She's just started eating seeds by herself. So that's good, makes life a lot easier. But I've got some sad news about Zooey. We've had a lot of bad weather and things here lately, and we've had some losses, and poor old Zooey passed away a few days ago, along with the 3 baby quail that we had. So that's not good. So Michelle asks, how many different breeds of birds do you have and do they get along? In the most part they get along. They do have their odd little squabbles. The hardest birds and the ones I would get rid of, hey, don't go chasing each other while I'm talking about you guys getting along. If I was going to get rid of some of them that cause problems, it would be the red rumps. So in here we have 2 red rumps, male and female, Sylvester and Tweety. We have 2 doves, which hopefully you can see in the shot now. They're male and female. They've laid lots of eggs, but as of yet haven't managed to hatch anything. I'm not sure how many turquoisines we've got, but I think we have 2 males and 4 females in here at the moment. We have 5 cocktails, as I spoke about earlier, and we have currently 5 Java sparrows. We did get up to about, they cause a little bit of problem when there was a lot of them. They annoy the hell out of the doves. At night they go underneath the doves and snuggle up and push inside them for warmth, which is very funny but quite annoying for the poor doves. And then we have 2 pheasants, Carrie, who is a female Lady Amherst pheasant, and Swinny, who is a female, although she doesn't look it. She's a cross between a yellow golden pheasant and a Swinho pheasant. And of course we have Woody, who is a menace. And it would be a lot easier to look after this Aviary if it wasn't for him. Since he's come along, it's very hard to keep any greenery going. He attacks everything, destroys everything, collects everything, puts everything in his water bowl. He's a very funny bird. And then we also have, outside this aviary, we've got the 2 silver quail in the aviary behind me, with Yellow, who is a yellow turquoisine, who got bashed up by Tweety, and that's why he's in a separate cage. I haven't actually seen the red rump since I've been out here. Where are they hiding? They're up the back there. Sorry. And we also have Strawberry, of course, the galah, who spends most of his time inside or in his aviary out on the deck, but I wouldn't have him out there at the moment because he would drive me insane squawking because he hates me being out in the aviary. So Makita will probably be Yellow's girlfriend now. Once she's a little bit bigger, I might put her outside sometime this weekend for a fly around. She's desperate to get out of her cage. She was very stroppy to begin with, but she's calmed down a lot now. She's used to us handling her now, and she's very sweet. Michelle, you're not going to see Strawberry today on this video, but if you look at my other videos you'll see Strawberry. He absolutely hates cameras and it's extremely hard to video, which is very annoying because he's extremely funny. He talks a lot, he says so many cool funny things, but he absolutely hates cameras, and he knows anything that is camera like a phone, a tablet, computer, anything. He'll just go for it straight away, or he'll just stop what he's doing. It's very, very hard to video. I've tried so many times and I've kind of given up now. Sort of respecting his wishes. He doesn't want to be filmed, and so that's that. Woody, 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 what are you doing? Woody loves talking to the chooks. They spend a lot of time with him on the outside of the fence just there, but we're hunkered down because of the rain. We have two chooks as well, I forgot to mention them. We've got Betty and Five. How old was Zooey? Zooey was about 16, 17 months. We raised him over Christmas before last. It's a lovely noise Woody makes sometimes. Whenever we get up in the night to go to the toilet or something like that, if he sees the light come on, he's always got to do that noise, say hello, which I'm sure the neighbours love. Are we going to get a male pheasant? We did have a male. If you've watched my other videos you will have seen Brucey. He was a beautiful male Lady Amherst pheasant, but he made a noise even worse than Woody and would start doing it at 5 o'clock every morning. So we decided not to get another male pheasant. The male pheasants are also a bit nasty. They're not nice to the females. They can be quite rough. And so at this stage, no, I've thought about getting a monal. I would love a monal pheasant. And they're beautiful things, but I don't know if I'd be able to put him in here with these girls because he might end up killing them. So at this stage, no, we won't be getting another male pheasant. Woody's currently eating some grass that I gave him yesterday, a clump of grass. Hopefully that's on screen. It's a bit hard to tell because I'm getting a 30-second delay on here through YouTube. So while I'm pointing the camera at somebody, I can't see it. And I can see it's a bit jerky, that's for sure. Wow, that's way over 30-second delay. not sure what happened to Zooey. We weren't here. We were down at Lake Carapero. But my mother said he was fine at 9 o'clock in the morning when she went out. She came out at 11 o'clock to give him some silver beet, and he was dead on the ground, so we're not sure what happened to him. Michelle asks, how long has it taken you to build the aviary, and have you rescued most of your birds? No, most of the birds are not rescued. Woody is. Woody is called Woody because of the road that I rescued him from. I was driving home from work one day, and a vehicle in front of me struck his, I don't know, I assume mother, and killed her on the road. And Woody and his sibling were standing by the dead body in the middle of the road. It's a busy road, and so I knew they were going to get flattened, and I just couldn't bear that, so I stopped my van. I jumped out. I tried to grab them both, but unfortunately one of them ran into the undergrowth and then the bush on the side, and I couldn't find it. But I managed to grab Woody, threw him in my van, and the road was called Birdwood Road, and so that's how he got called Woody. And there's videos of him growing up on my channel. So he's the only sort of full-on rescue bird. We built the aviary to have pheasants originally. That's why it's called the Pheasantasiam. But yeah, most birds in here. I've got a cockatiel on my head at the moment. I'm just. Where you going, Joey? Yeah, so Zoe's the only rescue bird. It was originally built for pheasants. There's a video of me sort of building the aviary. I would have done a better video had I known I was going to sort of make this a birdie channel about my aviary. But it took about 10 days to build the original aviary, and then I've just done my addition. I can't remember how long that took. That was probably another 10 days. Yeah. What else have we got in the questions here? So Cactus and Gaming says Yellow and Zooey were rescued, so was Woody. Well, they were. Zooey and Yellow were only rescued from within the aviary from getting bashed up from the other birds, as was Makita. But they're not actually rescue birds as such. Joey and Charlie we purchased off somebody who had rescued them, and then needed to move them on. And they are wonderful birds. And Swinny we got from my work as a companion. She was sort of an odd one out, and so I brought her home. She had a good temperament, very calm for a pheasant, so we brought her home so Carrie had somebody to talk to, although they don't get along all that well. But Woody likes Swinny very much. Julian asks, why don't you put the quail in the big aviary? Cactus and Gaming says the pheasants would kill them. Yeah, I don't think the pheasants would kill them. Our previous quail used to attack the pheasants. I know these quail are a lot smaller, but we didn't put them in there because we thought Woody might kill them. Or maybe not so much the adults, but certainly when the babies hatched he would have seen those as food. There's Charlie having a drink. Whenever I clean out the water bowls each morning, Charlie's always the first one to come down and have a drink. And a big drink there, Charlie. And that's Poopy that's just landed. Poopy's a bit of a clown, still a bit clumsy, very funny, loves a scratch. And Tweety and Sylvester are out and about now. Do you find being in the aviary as relaxing as we do watching it? Yeah, I do. But unfortunately, I don't spend much time out here, not like I used to. I used to spend hours out here every weekend just sitting, having a drink, talking to the birds, feeding the birds, having them sit all over us. But life's been so busy in the last sort of year or so, I haven't done that much. I sort of come out here, I do a video, and that's it. I very rarely sit down like I am right now. I usually just rush out in the morning, scrub out the water bowls, give them some food, and then I'm gone, and I don't see them until the next morning. Just a bit of a shame. But I do love sitting out here when I can, but it's been very rare of late. How does it feel to have so many teals treating you as family? It's very sweet. Hey Joey, you gonna come down? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Joey's the friendliest teal. He normally comes and lands on me as soon as I walk in the door. And he's quite hard to get off me when I leave. I've usually got to sort of do a jerking motion to get him to fly off me and quickly shut the door. He's just come down and landed on my head. What are you doing? So yeah, they're very friendly, especially Joey and Poopy. Hope I'm pointing this camera at you, Joey. Yeah. He's a pretty boy. You gonna whistle for people? Joey can do quite a few cool whistles, and he does talk, but it's very hard to understand what he's saying. He does say something along the lines of "pretty boy," a couple of other things that are really hard to work out. Did we name him Poopy? He's named Poopy because my wife calls him Maxie. He was meant to be a girl called Maxie, but he used to. We had him in the house for a long time, and he was very young when we got him, and he used to poop a lot, a hell of a lot, and so I called him Poopy all the time, and it used to annoy my wife. And so the name's just stuck, and eventually she sort of gave up, and he's now called Poopy. What are you doing, Joester? Comes the rain again. We've had so much rain in Auckland and New Zealand in the last couple of weeks. I mean, our place flooded a month ago, and it's never done before. I think we've had something like 3 times the amount of rain in April so far than we would normally get in all of April. It's just very wet. But it's been very Auckland right at this moment, raining and sunny at the same time. Do the Java sparrows often breed? Well, I don't know if you can see it on the screen right now, but there's one trying to go in a nest box as we speak, and Tweety's trying to stop him. And that is one of the reasons why I'm going to have to, unfortunately, separate. Keep trying to come up with different solutions not to separate the red rumps from everybody else. But they do annoy the other birds a lot and stop them from breeding. Sparrows used to breed like crazy, but I'm not even sure we've got a female at the moment. I think we've got one female left. It's a bit hard to tell. But yeah, they used to breed like mad. And that's why we had to get rid of so many of them. Tweety's been a pain at the moment to the sparrows, as I can see. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. There's Straub's inside. With the doors closed, you can still hear him squawking his head off. So you can probably hear me out here. He's got super good hearing. Something's just happened to my screen and all my comments have disappeared. No, wait, they're back. Straubs, quiet. So Michelle, you're the one who gets the cockatiels to watch my videos every day while you're at work, is that correct? I'm gonna hopefully get maybe this weekend do a 1 hour narration free aviary video. So I'll have another one for your birds to listen to when you're not there. Will I keep the red rumps in another aviary? Yeah, perhaps. There was talk of putting them in this one behind me here, blocking that off for them. But I'm not sure. I don't want to have lots of different aviaries because it's a lot more work for starters. And I like the idea of everybody getting along and being in one aviary together. We didn't think we were going to be able to have Woody in here. I thought he would have been a problem and attacked other birds, because pukekos in the wild do eat other birds, baby ducks and things like that. But he's been very well behaved. Bit noisy, bit destructive, but not towards the other birds, thankfully. You have lots of room for more birds. So if you were to get more, what would you choose? I don't think we do have a lot of room to put more birds in personally. Nature sort of seems to control how the numbers seem to work in this aviary. I don't really want any more in this aviary to cause problems. When it sort of gets at a nice level and it's all balanced and everybody's happy, then I'm happy. And it is that at the moment, apart from the red rump, they're a bit aggressive. So I wouldn't want to put any more birds in here. Having said that, we do kind of we never go out specifically to buy a bird, it just sort of happens. The quail recently just happened. We just happened to be out in a pet store and they looked cute, and we've looked at them so many times and said we didn't want them, and then all of a sudden we wanted them. The doves were a similar sort of thing. It's usually a particular bird will come over and pays you attention, and you see a glimpse of its personality, and then you think, okay, we'll get them. I want that one right there. It's not particular bird species that we pick, it's more personality. I mean, I like all birds. If they've got a good personality, then they win. So kookaburras I love a lot, but you can't get them as pets, of course, in New Zealand. But in Australia, I just absolutely love kookaburras. But if I was to start again, or if I could have any bird in the world, Himalayan monal pheasants are fantastic looking things, and I would love a pair of them. And parrots. If I lived out in the middle of nowhere and not surrounded by neighbours, I would get lots of parrots. Princess parrots, macaws, different cockatoos, sort of thing. I'm glad your birds like talking to my birds and vice versa. We'll try and get another video of cockatiels and stuff for an hour without me yakking over the top of it. There's one of the doves having a sunbathe at the moment. Most of the birds love to sunbathe. The cockatiels don't actually. Woody loves sunbathing, the doves love sunbathing, the pheasants love sunbathing, Turks love it. But yeah, not the cockatiels. Cockatiels are funny birds. Just a bunch of clowns, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. You come down for a scratch, baby? Come and land on the computer here. I'll give you a scratch. We can show everybody you having a scratch. Come on. Come on. Come on. You're wondering what the laptop is, aren't you? It's not normally a laptop out there, is there? You can't hold the camera and scratch it when you're sitting there. You're done. A scratch. A scratch. Poopy just loves a scratch. Yeah, he's a pretty boy. Poopy's our youngest cockatiel. It's about 3 now, I think. And then Fry and Leela are about 5, 4 or 5. And I'm not sure how old Joey and Charlie are, seeing as we didn't have them from young. And the person who... What are you doing, Joester? What are you doing? What are you doing? The person we got them from didn't know how old they were either. But I think they were probably close to 5 when we got them. So Joey and Charlie, maybe 10 years old. Hey guys. You've been unsure of the camera, aren't you, Joe? Yeah. Different camera, you're not used to it. Are parrots a lot more noisy? Yes. Much more noisy. Pheasants are pretty noisy, but parrots are noisy all the time. I used to work with a lot of birds. A lot of birds. Lots of pheasants and lots of parrots. And the corrallers and the cockatoos and the macaws, when they got going, wow, they're so loud. You could hear them from hundreds and hundreds of meters away. Very noisy birds. It's bad enough having a galah. He's pretty noisy when he wants to be. Cockatiels aren't so bad. Leela's annoying, he squawks a lot, but most of the time the cockatiels make pretty cute noises. What you doing, Toaster? Yeah, he's a pretty boy. You've got a parrot, Michelle, and you've got cockatiels. So cockatiels are a species of cockatoo. Cockatoos are mostly found in Australia, and cockatiels are the smallest of the cockatoo family. There's lots of different cockatoos, they're fantastic birds. Cockatiels, and then size-wise, it's sort of the next jump up is a galah, which is a big jump in size. A galah is probably 5 times bigger than a cockatiel, and the bite hurts at least 5 times more. And then you've got all sorts: sulphur-crested cockatoos, palm cockatoos, gang cockatoos, yellow-tailed black cockatoos, red-tailed black cockatoos, major Mitchells. and they're all fantastic birds, but they're very noisy. Do the teals chew on wood? Not a lot, to be honest. They do have a slight nibble on things, but they're actually pretty good, these guys. There's so many things in here that to play with and chew on and stuff that they don't tend to chew on the wood of the cage much. There's a couple of places near perches and stuff where there's a slight little bit of nibbling, but nothing to the point where anything's been destroyed. If you have a look at having said that, if you have a look at that house there was a window frame. It was divided into 4 little sections. Somebody chewed that out pretty fast. But they normally only chew on something if they want to get inside it, so they'll chew on nest holes and openings and things like that, nest boxes, quite a bit when they want to get in there. The bigger birds do when they want to try and get into when the smaller birds are in there. And there's a there's Java sparrows in a nest box there at the moment. Yeah, Joey's very photogenic most of the time, but I've got all this different equipment out here today that they're not used to. Oh, Woody's just got himself a choice bit of bark there, or something. He's a hoarder, Woody. If they had an animal equivalent of the show Hoarders, Woody would be on it for sure. He grabs everything and sticks it in his green container over there. And I mean everything, doesn't have to be plant matter. He's got his 2 favourite plant pots over there. Purple one and a black one. Okay, I've got some new people coming in. Hi Hayley. Love the aviary. Good. So do I. Might be a bit of glare from the sun in some of these shots. Sorry guys, the sun's not in a great place at the moment. It's quite early in the morning here. It's 9:45 in the morning on Saturday the 15th of April. I know it's night time where a lot of you are. Not supposed to have a favourite, but which one's my favourite? Yeah, I do have favourites, of course. We all try not to, but it's very hard not to. Different days, different ones are favourites. But out here in the Pheasantasiam, Joey is my favourite because he always comes over and talks. And he's not food orientated like so many of the other birds are. They come over and land on you because they want to feed. Joe come over and land on you and talk to you no matter what. And often you offer him food and he doesn't even want it. You just want to come and talk, don't you? He's very friendly. So, but of course Strawberry is #1 bird. Because he lives inside the house, we spend a lot more time with him, of course, and he's out wandering around a lot of the time. And so yeah, I mean, I never liked teals. I didn't want to put teals in this aviary. I thought teals were old grandma birds. My wife wanted teals, and I'm so glad we got them because they're extremely funny and lovely and friendly, and yeah, they're fantastic birds. I was wrong. What is Woody's favourite thing to play with? Well, anything really, but I'm surprised that those plant pots aren't in the water at the moment, but he loves his purple plant pot. He likes bottle caps. This leaf that's down here on the ground, which I should have picked up yesterday when I cleaned all the floor. I water blasted down with the hose or the AstroTurf yesterday. because there's so much sludge in here from the flooding. I haven't got around to need to dig over the rest of the ground, but it's so wet at the moment it'll just be a muddy mess. But he loves pulling off leaves off any plant. So these plants look a lot tatterier, is that a word? It is now, than they should be. If you can see the fibres all loose on the base of this Nikau palm, that's from Woody pulling away on it. Hey Joestar, what you doing? What you doing? Yeah? What you doing? Coming to check out all the stuff sitting here? Yeah. What's going on? All the stuff on your seat. Yeah. Pukekos are aquatic birds, so donors' feet get irritated from being on land all the time. They're not that aquatic. Most pukekos in New Zealand live in paddocks and on the side of motorways and things like that. They're not actually in the water all that much. They graze paddocks, kind of like geese and ducks sort of do. So no, his feet won't get irritated. He's got very, very tough feet. Very big feet too. Haley asks, have your teals been curious about the nest box? Which nest box are we talking about? We've got quite a lot of nest boxes in here. Yeah, the teals, whenever somebody is in a nest box, the teals are very nosy. Particularly when Tweety was in the nest box, Charlie was trying to get in there. Leela tries to get in with the turquoisines all the time. So it's very funny and very cute. They want to be daddies. And people always ask, and I'm surprised nobody's asked yet, why haven't you got a female cockatiel? I don't want to put a female in here now. I mean, we wanted females at first, but seeing as they've all turned out to be males, if we put a female in here now, she would be harassed almost to death, I would think. Oh, here's a good shot of Woody destroying the place. He is ripping up the AstroTurf at the moment. Woody, can you not do that, mate? And whatever you've eaten is now annoying you. See, that's what you get. It's karma, mate. Something stuck in his mouth or something. Go have a drink. Good boy. Teal, is that what everyone I know calls him? Avoids people and makes senses of humour being dumb about the first part of the name. Not quite sure what you mean there, but yeah, teal's just an abbreviation for cockatiel. I mean, it's just what people say. Everything gets abbreviated, particularly in this part of the world. In New Zealand and Australia, we abbreviate everything. Teals, Turks, you know, everything gets abbreviated. Even the name a bird, it normally ends up getting abbreviated as well. Strawberry gets just called Strawbs, and that sort of thing. I normally make Joey's name longer actually though. I call him Joestar most of the time. And I used to call Zooey Zooster, I don't know why. Any tips or recommendations on teals? Or do you mean on building an aviary? Teals I would definitely get as a pet in an aviary. If you're going to build an aviary, my personal thoughts are build it as big as you possibly can. With all species of birds, I try to have pairs, male and female. little doves down here because sort of, you know, that's how nature works, and they're often happier if they've got. I certainly would always try and have somebody of the same species. Doesn't have to be male and female, but you know, if you're going to have a male teal, another male teal is better than no other teal for them to talk to. And I like to have a big enough space that everything can fly and try and be as natural as possible. They can still forage, they can fly around, and basically be natural birds in an enclosed environment. Of course, they're not completely natural, as they interact with each other in ways that they would never do in the wild, which is very interesting. But I still learn so much coming out here. Whenever I come out here, it's amazing how you see a bird do something and you think, wow, I never would have thought they would have done that. Or they do things that you read and get told that they don't do. You get told that certain birds below certain sizes won't hold food in their hands. I'm going to say hands because I'm a birdie person. But like turquoisines, for instance, they will hold peanuts and millet and things in their hands and hold them up to their mouth and eat them, and supposedly parrots that small don't do that, but they do. Now I've kind of got off topic. What was the question? I do quite a lot of reading about starting my own aviary one day. Cocktails definitely seem pretty appealing. Any tips or recommendations? Go and have a look at as many aviaries as you can. That's what I did as well before we started building an aviary. Don't just read things on the internet, because if you're reading something on the internet or you're watching something on the internet and it's somebody who lives in a completely different part of the world, things are different. People are always asking me, oh, how can you have an aviary like that with a wooden floor? What about snakes and foxes and other predators like that? Well, I live in New Zealand. There is nothing like that. New Zealand has no native animals, no mammals, nothing. All we have is birds. So there is some native bats, but I've never ever seen one in my entire life. And that's the only mammals, land mammals, that we have in New Zealand. So there's no natural predators to these guys. The only thing that would get in here would be a rat if they burrow down under the ground and under my barriers. So I've gone for a natural floor because I like to see them forage. I want to be able to plant plants in here. Most people who breed birds are totally against that. They like concrete floors because they think it's safer for the birds. They won't get diseases and stuff, which I think is just rubbish. It's just a lazy way of being able to just hose out the cage. So go and have a look at other aviaries in your area and see how people do it where you live. But if I had one tip on building an aviary, it would be make it as big as you possibly can. As big as you can afford, as big as space as you can part with. Because it just makes life so much better. If you can sit in it, then it's just so much better. You can have a big seat in here and just sit here, and all the birds will eventually come to you. Whereas if you've got a small aviary and you're looking at them from the outside, it makes it very hard for interaction, and when you go in there they'll freak out. So yeah, there's some tips. And cockatiels, I mean, cockatiels is so easy. I would, if you were starting off and you want to interact with them and everything, I would probably buy ones that have been hand raised. They're a lot more expensive usually, they certainly are here. A cockatiel in New Zealand you can get for, what you doing out there, Carrie? You looking in the food bin? You can get for $20 to $30, that sort of thing, if it's just an aviary bird. If it's hand raised and it's a white one or something like Joey, you can pay anywhere up to about $300, depending on the markings and the colouring and how friendly they are and that sort of thing. So I would start with a hand raised one, or a hand raised pair. Ooh, hello to the new people that have come on in the last few minutes. Somebody's asking questions in a language I can't understand, I'm afraid. Hi, from Brazil. How's it going? I'll try and answer your question in a second. Most aviaries you can buy in the UK are no bigger than about 6 foot by 6 foot. If you want bigger than that, you have to build your own. Yeah, well, that's the same here as well. I would never buy an aviary because they're usually rubbish. The ones I see here, they're not very strong. They're not going to last. They have very bad designed doors that are only single doors. It's another tip. Have a double door like I've got on mine. I can't show you it right now because I'm sitting here with the camera and the computer. But have a look at my other videos if you don't know what I'm talking about. Get a double door. If you've got a double door, it's just so much safer. Without that, if one of your birds goes to the door as you open the door, that's it, history, gone. Most of these birds, if they got out, they ain't going to be coming back, with the exception of the cockatiels. So always get a double door, and I would personally always build my own aviary because that way I can do it the size I want, the type of features I want, because all the ones I've seen that are purchased ones are just rubbish. Okay, what have we got now? Did the button quail have babies yet? Yeah, if you were here earlier you would have unfortunately heard that 3 of the babies hatched, and within 3 days they were all dead, unfortunately. Hopefully the next batch, parents will have learnt some lessons, I will have learnt some lessons, and they'll survive. Hopefully they don't try to do it now though, because it's just starting to come into winter here, which isn't great. In Brazil we make traps for wild birds and put them in very little aviaries. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. Wild teals live in this is Vertical Smurf's question. Wild teals live in semi-arid or arid areas of Oz. That's Australia for anyone who doesn't know. You have palm trees in there. Do you sometimes give them grasses to eat? Does the humidity bother them? Teals are extremely resilient birds. People often ask about the cold here. It doesn't get that cold, to be honest. And in central areas of Australia and desert type arid regions, it actually gets a lot colder than most people think. Overnight in desert regions it's colder than most coastal areas and things like that. No, I haven't seemed to have any problem with humidity. We give them grass to eat every day. There used to be grass in here permanently until we got a pair of pheasants that we had briefly that I got rid of. I returned them. They were from work and we didn't know what to do with them, so I brought them home, but they were just a pair of idiots and didn't really get along with anybody, and they just absolutely massacred all the grass, unfortunately, and it's never grown back, and that's why I tried to do some in this area behind, but now that we've got Woody, he just destroys everything real quick. So every day I grab clumps of grass, I leave the weeds and stuff growing in certain patches in the garden and stuff so that I can pull them out and bring them in here, because all the birds in here love fresh grass, everybody. Particularly the Turks, the cockatiels and Woody and the red rumps, they all love good grass. I don't know if you can see the chooks out there now. And there's Tweety and a Turk, one of the male Turks. I definitely prefer your type of aviary. Question from Cactus and Gaming. I definitely prefer your type of aviary, even though it would definitely not contain such pretty plants as in the tropics there. Well, it isn't the tropics here, not at all. But Auckland is a lot warmer than a lot of people seem to think. You can grow a lot of palms here. I used to be very much into palms, and I've got I don't know how many species of palms, over 100. And so yeah, there's a lot of palms. That's why there's so many palms in here, because I'm obsessed with palms. This palm here, Bismarckia nobilis, was planted before the aviary was built, and so it's going to be a problem in a couple of years when it hits the top. I don't know what I'm going to do. And this Nikau here as well, I wouldn't plant these things in here after the fact, but that was there before I built the aviary, as was the macadamia there, which I had to butcher, unfortunately. It was just starting to produce nuts, so that's annoying. The Italia I must have planted as well before the aviary was built. And maybe even that Ambostra, I can't remember. There was a few other palms in here. Send a hug to me from YouTube. That having a forage at the moment. This is why I like the natural ground. You see all the birds come down, scratching around and foraging like they would in the wild. Much better than a concrete floor that it's got no character at all. Not birds at all. What do your neighbours think about your aviary? I did speak to my neighbours a hell of a lot, to be honest. I spoke to one a couple of days ago, and he was asking about the birds, and he said that they hear them, but they don't bother them, so hopefully they're all like that. Our neighbours have got dogs that are far more annoying than our birds. Yeah! Hey! You don't make too much noise, do you? Pretty boy! Oh, onto my head again. Oh, and here comes the rain. The chooks run for cover. Yeah, there was a slight problem with YouTube there, guys. Not getting my feed, but it's come right again now. Well, at least I hope it is. Tell me when your picture comes back, please. Hello, dove. What you doing? The doves have been so much more interesting than I ever thought they would be. Doves are very curious. Whenever I come in here with something, they always try and come over and have a look straight away. Has anybody got the picture back yet? Hi Maximus, Joey's been featured a lot. You're a bit late arriving, obviously. He's not sure where he's gone at the moment. Joey. Still no picture. It says it's fine at this end. Mine says stream health is excellent, so and it looks fine on my screen. I don't know why it's not working, guys. Sorry. Money out there. Bear with, guys. Can you see and hear me? We're back. Okay. Whew. Everybody's having a good old feed on the ground at the moment. I don't think it was South Texas. I think it was something at my end, I'm afraid. It was my software that was streaming it. It was weird because it was streaming. I could see the image on YouTube, but when I went to the actual software it was black. But we're back now. For the next stream I'll try and get a lead out here. Problem is I have to get like a 20-meter lead for the internet. I could try hotspotting it off my phone, but I don't think that would be any better. Just think I'm trying to do too high resolution, too far away from the source of the Wi-Fi. Oh, now it's gone black on my screen. How am I going to get a cable into the aviary without Woody beelining to the exit? Well, I've got a cable in here now because I've plugged in the laptop just so that the battery wouldn't go flat. So as you can see, I can get a cable. There's a big enough gap to get a cable in the doors. Okay, well now you guys can see it and I can't see it. Very strange, so I'm not sure what I'm pointing the camera at the moment. I'm glad, Michelle, you can de-stress watching my birdies. I think I'm going to sneeze, guys. Well, not quite. Java sparrows make some really cool noises and the males do a lovely little song. But I sort of hardly notice them unless they're making a noise now. Thanks guys, but the sneeze didn't come to anything. Oh. Every now and again something like that'll happen. One bird, they all know each other's distress calls, and any bird makes an alarm call, all the others know it and panic. If the chooks do it or if the pheasants do it, everybody knows, everybody gets to high ground. It's quite interesting. Looking a bit scruffy there, Gary. So this aviary is about 8 meters long, 4 meters wide, 4.5 meters wide, and that was before I added this extension, which is about 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters, I think. Did Yellow and Zooey get along? No, they didn't, unfortunately. Yellow is the sweetest. He's just got such a good temperament. He wouldn't hurt a fly. Sorry, I'm just looking at something. What's that on your face, Tweety? He's such a softie, and that's probably why he got bashed up. And Zooey used to pick on him quite a lot. Zooey is a only child raised by us, and he was a bit spoiled, I think, and used to pick on Yellow somewhat. So Yellow's got peace now. The little green ones, Michelle, they are turquoisines. They're a little grass parrot from Australia. And they're very sweet little birds. They're very quiet. They love to just sit in the sun. They can be very friendly if you raise them right. There's Woody playing with an old corn cob. There's some fresh ones inside, Woody. The turquoisines, if you live in a if you have a they could go in a fairly small aviary, because they're very good little flyers. They can flit around tight areas, and they're very quiet. Good for suburban sort of gardens. And they're green mostly, but yellow came from these guys. We had one batch of 3 green and 3 yellow in the one batch of babies, which was quite interesting. So there's yellow genes in somebody in here, some of these green Turks. See you later, what's your name? Palladian Dragon. Oh, the picture's back on my screen now. Wow, that's a video from a long time ago. Are they similar to budgies? No. They're much cuter than budgies. That's a male one there on the screen. You can tell the males from the females because of the little red patches on their wings, which they exhibit quite young. The males also have more intense blue colours on their head. They're a little bit smaller than a budgie. They're probably a little bit harder to train than a budgie. Budgies you can get to talk and stuff. I don't think you'd get a turquoisine to talk. Turquoisines are near femur parrots, which is quite different from a budgie, but they're very sweet little birds. Kind of like miniature red rumps, except red rumps aren't sweet. So our red rumps we've got. Sylvester, the male, he is a standard coloured red rump, but Tweety is yellow, and she should be green if she was normal. Yeah, I might have to go soon too, guys. I've got to go out and do some shopping while everything's open today before it closes tomorrow. Go get some food, go buy some tools. Anyway, it's been fun. Pity the picture quality hasn't been too flash. Put that down to me just being too far away from the Wi-Fi. I might do one inside with Straubs with this new camera so I can see. I had to buy a camera to do this. So it's cost me about $80 to do this today. But I might get a lead if I'm going to do it again, and then we can hopefully get a better image. There's Swinny up on perch. She loves sitting up there. No problem, Cactus. Keep on watching the vids. Thanks for watching. I know you're one of the regulars. Looking sleepy, Leela. It's getting to the time of the day where everybody's about to have a nap. So if I'm going to do an Aviary video, like a 60-minute long video, I wouldn't do it now, because all the birds are starting to have their midday sleep. It's best to come out and do it first thing in the morning when they're all active and singing away and scratching around for food and being interesting. Yes, Michelle, I will do it again. I don't know when. I'll try and get a lead. I might get one today. And I'll try and get another stream sometime soon. As long as I can improve the quality. I know the camera's good enough to do it. I've got a high def camera here. But I think the biggest problem is just the Wi-Fi connection. And maybe something to do with YouTube. YouTube's streaming isn't the best. The way that you access it and everything isn't great. But I think the streaming will become a lot more popular in the coming months and years. But there's still a lot of bugs that YouTube need to sort out. And a lot of bugs I need to sort out. So, time to say goodbye, Woody. Okay, happy Easter, guys. Don't eat too much chocolate. And I will see you all soon. Bye bye, birdies.